Hi everyone, it's Susan. I'm going to do a flip through of my New Orleans junk journal. It's very bright and colorful. I wanted it to reflect the atmosphere that I noticed when I was visiting New Orleans 2 years ago. It's got a fabric cover that's lots of different dupioni silks and laces that I just kind of put together as a patchwork and then stitched all over it. And it's got this very bright tie, very sparkly. And there's 3 signatures inside that I stitched into cardboard that's then glued into the cover. And then that piece of cardboard not only is glued, it's also stitched through to the outside to give it extra stability. And then I put these pretty glass beads on. So I will show you what's inside. I had so much fun with this one because it was so different than doing the vintage, and the last one I did was a sepia. So this was outside of that color range. And the inside is covered with this beautiful purple dupioni silk. And all the photographs in here are ones that I took when I was wandering all over miles and miles of New Orleans. I was especially fascinated by the doors. So these are made into big journaling cards. The backside is lined paper. Hope that shows up in the camera. And then there's lots of this print fabric. This is a fabric that my sister-in-law sent me, and I just changed it up into various bright colors. It starts with that and then goes into this. This was the inside of a restaurant in the French Quarter. And I just threaded some fabric through to give it some extra effect. Fleur-de-lis symbol of the New Orleans Saints. And also New Orleans, I think, that's part of their symbol there. Here's a little corner tuck spot with a picture that I took down in front of the big church. I can't remember the name of it there, but there's a lot of the fortune tellers and musicians sitting down there. So this is for a palm reader. And it makes a little journaling card, and here's a fold out, and you can write on the back side of it. This was in one of the cemeteries that I wandered through. So fascinating. And I put some shiny beads on here and some lace up at the top. That was a shop, gumbo shop, that I took a picture of the sign. And it makes a nice little tuck spot with this pretty fabric behind it. That's one of the horses pulling the carriage that goes around the city. There's some sparkles. And just some different colored note cards to journal on. This pretty lace makes a belly band. Behind that is a printout of several of the different doors that I took pictures of. Just makes a nice journaling space. That's tucked in there. There's that lace again. See, it's in the same as that, only in the different color range. This is the pale pink, and there it is in the blue. So it's quite a useful design. She did good. The Pearl was a restaurant I walked by several times. And that's just a little journaling space. This hat was sitting on one of the markers at one of the crypts, I guess you call them, at the cemetery. Thought it was neat with the hat. That's a restaurant I ate lunch in, Commander's Palace. That's across from the cemetery where I took that picture. I thought it was just beautiful. Love the color. And here's one that I cut the doors so they open, and that makes a tuck spot for, this is not from the same house, it's a different house, but painted pink with the navy blue. Oh, actually it is the same house. Oh my gosh, I'm just noticing. Sorry about that. I just noticed the trim. Same house. Thought that would be a bit of a coincidence, huh? And there's some fabric and some sparkly stuff along the top. Here's a tuck spot up there. some pretty jumbo size glitter ball with some journaling space. And some fabric ruffled with some lace. That's got the shiny netting over it. This was a mural on a wall inside of a restaurant. And that was one of the, I'm just blanking out on the name of it, the things that go in the sidewalk so they can open them and get down into the water lines. And that makes a tuck spot for a tag. Some of my different nettings stitched underneath. And another tag. This was on the front of a restaurant. I was there just before, like the week before Mardi Gras 2 years ago. So that's why you'll see so much of the Mardi Gras decorations. This was a gorgeous house. Beautiful, huge house. There's a little fabric flip. And this one I cut the door, and then I searched through magazines until I found a picture that I thought looked like it could be what you'd see as you looked inside this house. It has these big tall shutters. The doors are all really oversized, super tall. Then some of them have the storm shutters on them with the gas lantern going. That was at Cafe Du Monde, I believe it was called, with the beignet and the chicory coffee. Oh, that was so good. And a little journaling space on the back. This one was all ready for Mardi Gras. So colorful. So I put some lined paper on the back to make some nice journaling space. And here's some more of the colorful journaling cards. And that's one all covered with the pretty bright orange fabric and sequins. That tucks right in there. Inside one of the shops. Has some gorgeous paper that my sister-in-law dyed. It's so pretty. Look at that door. They were just so fascinating. I was taking a million pictures. And that flips open and makes another journaling spot. And this, I've got a paper clip on each side, and then these fold way out, way out. Not sure if you can see, but that folds out a long ways, and then there's space to write on the back of both of them. I was just fascinated by this particular horse and carriage, and the driver was dressed in lavender and purple as well. And there's a pretty card. And some lavender glitter ball and lace along the top. More sparkly. It's another one that was very, very colorful. And there's some time card and some lined paper to write. That tucks up in there. Some more pretty sparkly fabric. I got to go see the Preservation Hall Jazz Band. I was so absolutely thrilled that I was able to do that. And here's another little fabric flip onto a pretty card, and some more writing space on the back. And that tucks up. Oops, that tucks up under there. And it's got some of the pretty lace overlaid over this other shiny fabric that I have. There's a tuck spot. And this is a picture that I took of a street map for the trolley. So I was all over this whole area. It was so fun. I was able to join my son on a business trip that he had there. And while he was in all of his meetings, I just took off and wandered and rode the trolley all over the whole city. I put miles on my feet that day. Well, 2 days I guess I was there. 2 days. There's another really pretty front door. And it's got the journaling space that I stitched onto the back. And there's some more sparkly fabric. This horse is so pretty with his hooves painted gold. And then this just makes another little hidden journaling space. Just folds like that. And then I had it paper clipped so it stayed shut. And there's some more writing space, and had to put the beignets in twice, and the coffee, or chicory coffee. There's that beautiful house with the great big balcony up there. And there's another door with a journaling card. Makes for a really big journaling card. And some more sparkly fabric and some dupioni silk. That's the other half of that gorgeous big pink house. Then the third signature, here's another door that's made into a little writing space. That tucks right in there, and there's another little tuck spot. And then here I mostly just did some lined paper. There's another card that tucks up there, just so there'd be lots of room to write or glue pictures in. And that's from the cemetery again, with some lace and glitter ball, and there's this other lace over fabric. Sequins, sparkly, and more paper to write on, and another gorgeous bright red front door, so I put the red lace around the outside, and that's onto some heavy manila file folder, and that tucks right in there. And here's another one with the fleur-de-lis, making another journaling card. And some pretty teal colored glitter ball, and that's the inside of the back cover. And there we are. So that's my New Orleans journal. Thank you for joining me. Bye.